Hi, everybody. My name is Benny, and I'm a compulsive eater. And like you, I weigh and measure 3 meals a day. I write them down. I call them into my sponsor. I do not eat in between my meals, and my abstinence is the most important thing in my life. My abstinence date, and I forgot to open my mouth, but I don't know why I keep doing this. My abstinence date is September 27, no, 28th, 1997. So I've got 23 years, and I should have said, thank you so much. I should have said something when they asked for milestones. But all right, my story. I'm going to tell you what I was like, what happened, and what it's like now. I did not come to Gracie to stay. I was in a different food program, and my then sponsor, what she did is she said, "Hey, I've heard about this group we can go to." Because I had lost my abstinence and I was slipping and sliding, and I'd get abstinence for 1 second, eat, and then eat and eat. So she said, "There's this group called Gray Sheet, and we can go over there and you can get a copy of their food program, and maybe you can get abstinent." And that was in 1997, like I just said. And I stayed for whatever reason. Let me tell you what happened, what I was like. I was a large baby, but that was all right. I was a normal size large baby, I call it. I'm an only child, and my mother never had any more children. Her doctor told her that it wasn't time for her to give birth, and he went out of town, and I showed up. And my grandmother actually was the midwife that delivered me. In adulthood, talking about that delivery, it was quite, according to my mom, horrendous. But I have an indentation in the side of my head that I didn't even know I had. It's actually like a dent. And I somebody told me about it when I was getting my hair done. And I don't know if that happened during that birth or not, but whatever. I'm here. I'm fine. So one of the things that I did learn how to do was to the white substance that you have when you're young. I used to partake of that like it was water. And I remember my aunt at one time telling me, that I couldn't do that. I needed to watch and drink water instead of that. And I was quite upset, even as a kid. I was still basically a normal sized person until an event happened in my life. And I don't know if if that event made me become a compulsive eater, or if I was born a compulsive eater. I do not know. But I had a molestation that happened when I was a child, and it was from a man allegedly that was a man of the cloth. I should be an atheist, but I'm not because of that. But I had what happened with me. I was a kid. I was a bedwetter. So this man of the cloth was going to pray for me and help me with my problem. Finally, some adult had the wisdom to ask, "Hey, what does he do with you when he takes you into the bathroom?" That should have been a clue. And then I told him, and my cousin, who was 5 years older, she was a kid too, but she says, "Oh, why did you let him do, why, oh." And I've talked to other people that have had that experience in their life, and we tend to blame ourselves. It was our fault. We were chosen because we were different. So I grew up with that experience feeling different. I gained weight. I remember in the fourth grade telling a friend of mine, her mom, "I weigh 120 pounds and I'm a kid." And her face did not look like, "Oh, good thing." But I thought it was really great that I was large. I stole wrapped crinkly stuff from the teacher that she had in her desk. And the girl, her name was Barbara. I never will forget it. Of course, I'd hooked up with another young kid that was also an overeater, and we would go in and recess and steal the substance. And when Barbara peeked in, I knew that I knew I was going to get in trouble. I knew that she was going to tell the teacher, and she did. But that did not stop me from stealing. Part of my history also is, as a young kid, is stealing from a store. And we had open campus, and I had gone downtown, and I had this girl that went with me, and she could tell what I was getting ready to do, and she was smart enough to leave. I did not steal food and get caught. I stole a tube of lipstick and looking all around and looking like the thief that I was. And I paid for a smaller items and was walking towards the door, and this gentleman came up to me and said, "Come with me, young lady." And I went upstairs, and then they took me over, and I got a chance to meet some people that are called police officers, and I got a chance to have my picture taken and some fingerprints. And I am very happy that happened because it let me know that's something you don't do. And I have never done that again. When I saw that man that wears that black robe and he told me he didn't want to see my face again, I believed him. So that stopped me from that. I have come to remember that I used to steal food, but I never got caught. So it was like I didn't do it. I would go to the market and shop, shop and rob. That's what I did, along with that cousin that I mentioned. She was older, and we were both doing it. I think she is the one that taught me, but still, I went with it. I went with her, and I did it. In Gray Sheet, I came from OA, went from OA to Howe. And Howe, I had a pretty decent abstinence until they added back that substance. And I started going out to eat. When we would go out to eat, it was with exception. And I had a friend, and we'd go out and eat, and we'd pile our plates up to the ceiling. People would stare, but it was abstinent because we were out at a restaurant. Spent a lot of time in restaurants. Eventually, doing that, I decided to change the program around, and I decided that I would take a frozen substance that didn't have real sugar, but it had protein and it had artificial sugar, and I would make that a fruit. And I bought it on sale, and I would eat one, then I'd eat two, then I would eat three, and then I would eat the whole box, and I'd go get some more. And then, since I am who I am, I decided, you're wasting a lot of money. Go back to that store and buy the real thing. And that's what I did. I went back to that, and I sat in the rooms, and I gained 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 50. I gained 70 pounds. I gained more than I had lost. I finally started hiding out, trying to sit in the back of the rooms. And people used to say, "Oh, hi, Benny, we're so glad you're back." And I hadn't gone anywhere physically. Mentally, I was out to lunch, dinner, and wherever. But I had not left the rooms, but I had gained the weight by not following the program. When I got to Gray Sheet, I really thought it was sort of like a cult, that I was ready to sign up. One of the ladies, she gave a qualification, and she had a backpack, she had a scale, she had spoons, she had, her scale was it wasn't the manual. And I remember thinking that's what I had to do, but I didn't care, I would have done it. I've heard people say this, if I had been told that I needed to go and stand on my head, I would have done it. And that's what, I was desperate. When I hear people in our rooms that they're absent and then they're not, they're absent and they're not, I get it. I, through grace, because it's nothing I've done, have been abstinent since I came to Gray Sheet. But I went through that abstinent, not abstinent, abstinent, not, and it's the most horrible feeling, because I had one time had a sense of serenity and peace, and then I lost it and I couldn't get it back. What is going on in my life now? I am so grateful to be a member of Gray Sheeters Anonymous. I was talking to someone this morning, and we mentioned how the disease, it really is cunning, baffling, and powerful. It will tell you, what, why do you want to make that phone call? I mean, it's an eighth of an ounce, so what? That's not even worth, oh, you dropped some food? Oh, don't worry about that. But you know what? It's not really, what? If our program said we were to eat 3 7/8 ounce instead of 4, we could be abstinent because we'd be following the guidelines of the program. And if we didn't change anything, but the program says 4. So it's the head. The head starts saying, "Hey, Benny, yesterday you only had 3 7/8. So today, why don't you have 4 1/8? Because you're really just, it's the same thing." So what I do for me is I try to remember what I was told when I first came into the rooms. I was told that I did not make any independent food choices, that if I was in doubt, leave it out, call somebody with 90 days and do what they said to do if I couldn't get a hold of my sponsor. I was also told to keep my eyes on my own plate. And I'm saying that because they told me I had to weigh and measure in restaurants. Are you kidding me? Everybody be looking at me, and I don't want them looking at me. So what I did, two wonderful gray sheeters took me out to eat. In fact, more than one group did it. But I remember these two particular people, and they said, "This is what you do," and they showed me, and they said, "Keep your eyes on your scale. Don't be looking around to see if anybody's watching you." And I have come to found that the most people that have a comment about what I do or they say anything are people that making a judgment that they could stand to be in this room with me. Some of the things that have happened to me, I went to a restaurant, needed a plate. So I asked the wait staff, I said, "Could I have an empty plate, please?" And he says to me, "Could you tell me why?" And I like to say that I should have told him, "I need one more to complete my set at home." I could have told him that. I had one lady when I went out to an organization that was helping young people, and we were helping them get college money. And I'm sitting at a table with people that I don't know, and we're talking, and I have my part of my veggie in a plastic bag, zippy, and I had my steel and everything. And she is all into my business. And she says to me, "The reason that you have a problem with your weight is because you concentrate too much on your food." So I didn't want my dessert. And I don't want my dessert. You know what she does? "Hey, bring me her dessert." People do that. They think that they can talk about your food. It's like I can't figure it out particularly. Part of it is love. We show love. I made this especially for you. I'm loving you. That's part of it. And part of it is I think some people, not all, feel threatened. They feel threatened about seeing this person weigh and measure the food and it's strange, it's different. There was a lady that she's no longer in these particular rooms, but I remember she said what she tells people, "What is it about my taking care of myself that offends you?" And that is a good answer. It's not mean, it's not cussing, it's not belligerent, it's just a fact. What is it that offends you? I'm taking care of myself. You know, no matter what. I want to talk about a few of those. That same cousin that I told you about, um, we actually lived together. Grandma raised both of us, but she died. And I remember when I was younger, I thought, I don't know what would happen if she died. I couldn't live if she died. She died when I was in. I had abdominal surgery in these rooms. Gray Sheeters brought me for the hospital. They took care of me. It's like love. That's love. I had one, two, three knee surgeries in these rooms. One was a removal of cartilage. One was I have an artificial knee now, and one was just a scraping or whatever of the knee. Forget what it's called. I had the death of my mother in these rooms. My mom lived to be 100 years of age. She had dementia, and that was an adventure within itself. Another story for another time. I had one child, and it's 10 years now since he died. When he died, I called my sponsor. My food didn't taste like anything. But in these rooms, you eat no matter what, and you don't eat no matter what. So I got a chance to continue on weighing and measuring my food. That's what we do. Today, what is going on with me today? I'm telling you, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. And sometimes I think I'm wasting it. I work per diem, and we get to choose days. And then from the days that we choose that we wish to work, we are allotted X amount of days. So this coming month coming up, I only have two. Last month, I think I worked, what was it, about 11 to 13, some ridiculous amount for me, because I'm like retired, don't, not working. So I decided, let's put it in my calendar. Put it in my calendar, and then later on went and checked my email.
That's 15
Okay,
minutes.
thank you so much. I went and checked my email, and I had sent an invite to everybody that I work with, all of my coworkers. Instead of putting the time and the date for me to show up at work, I sent an invitation to them in the iPhone. I don't even know how to do that. So how did I do it? But I did it. I had people calling me, what are you talking about? I had people saying, oh yeah, I'll work your days. So from that, I got to, because I weigh and measure my food, I got to figure out, how do I fix this? So I emailed everybody and apologized for sending that email. It was an error, please forgive me, blah, blah. And they've been back, LOL, it was funny to them that I'm doing stuff like that. So what does that let me know? I need to slow down. I need to slow down. I need to make sure that I'm weighing and measuring with precision, that when I get in my car and I'm driving, I'm paying attention to what I'm doing. I need to write down, if I'm weighing and I'm putting 0.4, whatever, write it on a piece of paper next to my scale and go get the rest of it. The most important thing for me, and I truly mean this, is my gray sheet abstinence. I am not a pretty picture without it. Let me tell you what I did do, and I don't do this anymore. With my son in my car, I chased a woman because I didn't like the way she was driving. My son is cringing over in the corner. I'm walking across the street downtown, and a guy cut me off, took my hand, and I hit his car, and I hurt my hand. Another guy is honking at me because I'm waiting for a pedestrian, and he's honking, and I rolled my window down, and I said, and this is awful, you guys, but I said, is your mother alive? And he said, yes. And I said, you tell her she should have had an abortion. That is horrid. That's horrid. That's the type of person I become if I'm not weighing and measuring my food. Weighing and measuring restores me to sanity. And I'm one of the people that took great offense with the second step. And it said, we will be restored to sanity. And I thought, they're not talking about me. I am sane. I don't have any problems. Yeah, right. The one that used to eat from the patient's plate. I didn't know what type of disease they had, but I pick up that plate and I eat. The one that picked ants out of a white car at work. Sanity? I don't think so. But now, at least I know when I'm acting out, and I know how to stop it, and I know how to make an amend. I had somebody make an amends to me, and I learned to do this as I'm listening as they're doing it. It was today, and they're telling me what they did, and blah blah. I don't even remember it. So I said to the person, I said, now I get it when I make an amends to someone and they say, I don't remember what you're talking about, because I didn't remember the incident and it didn't even offend me. But we make them for ourselves also, folk. It's for us. I'm just happy. I'm even in lockdown with my ankle bracelet. That's how I feel. My ankle bracelet on my ankle. I am happy because I have my meals. I can taste them. I can smell them. So I don't have COVID, and I can just go out and stay protected and protect other people. And I weigh and measure my food without exception. And I am one of the lucky ones with you. We are the chosen. Just remember that you're chosen. You're the chosen. And I'm so glad that I was asked. I had another thing that I was supposed to do. I can see the timer and I keep looking to see if it's time yet. I know it's coming. But I chose to speak at this meeting and forego my other event that I have scheduled, because without my absence, I wouldn't be doing that other thing at all. So I'm looking forward to hearing everybody else share. And thank you for asking me. And much love to you and much abstinence. Thank you, no matter what.